Okay, messaging. Messages are performed over channels. The default channel, and we need to talk about that a little bit, is long fast. LONGFAST. Now what that means is
Long and fast.
pretty much. Hey, you're just a smart guy, you know that? Let me see if I can get out here and do this.
I'm saying hum. Got a non-Methodist Wi-Fi.
What's the password to the recline get?
Free.
Free.
F for capital I, all one word.
Hams can't use long fast or short and stubby.
So capital F-R-E-E.
E, capital F-R-E-E, two words together.
Free fast.
Okay. If you're going to get into Meshtastic, this is probably one of the places you want to bookmark. Meshtastic.org. It has a wealth of information, and it shows you the iOS app, the Android app, the web client, and there's also a Python CLI that if you're connecting to it serially that it works very well. So let's now I know where Dave got that. I thought he drew it, but I guess not me. Configuration. Okay. Channels. Like I said, the default channel is long fast. But when you create a channel, for instance, we could create a channel called OCAPA members and put a password in there that only the OCAPA members knew. And then we could communicate amongst the members on Meshtastic. Well, like I said, the default channel is where everything happens. But if you're going to go use another channel like OCAPA members, then you're only going to hear what members show up on that particular channel. But you can create anything you want. I don't know if there's a max of how many, but I would imagine there's very much of a max. But
Some binary multiplier.
They did, so
here we go. Let's talk about the different roles. A client, app connected or standalone messaging device. It rebroadcasts packets when no other node has done so. Client mute. This device does not forward packets from other devices. I can tell you this, that if you have all of your Meshtastic radios set up for client and they're in your house, you're not going to get out very far because they don't communicate. They kind of like stop. So I have one client and the rest of them are client mute. There's a client hidden device that only broadcasts as needed for stealth or power savings. Stealth. And they have a tracker lost and found sensor. This broadcasts telemetry packets as a priority. Then you have one called TAC. It's for the ATAC system. Then you have a TAC tracker. You have a repeater, a router. What's the difference between a repeater and router? Not much within the Meshtastic stuff. Then router late. Infrastructure node that always rebroadcasts packets once, but only after all other modes, ensuring additional coverage for local clusters. So here you can see the comparison. We're not going to go over all of them. If you get interested in Meshtastic, you can look those up yourself. More.
Are those individually changeable, or do you have to flash the whole thing if you want to
No,
change something?
no, you can go into the config right there and change all of those roles right there. But I will warn you, if you decide to get into it, start off by setting your device up as a client, because that way it will rebroadcast all the nodes it hears. Depending on your configuration, you can put local only. In other words, it's only going to rebroadcast all the local stuff. There's something called MQTT, which is an internet thing. So if your node is connected to the internet and you've turned on MQTT, you're going to hear nodes from all over the world. You don't necessarily want to do that. Because A, it's going to bog your radio down. So I would say leave MQTT off unless it's a router, and don't.
But that would only be 915. If the rest of the world was 930.
Yes, but through MQTT, you're going to be on the internet. So are they. So if they are heard on the internet, they could get across here.
Yeah,
So it's
doesn't matter the frequency.
Don't take this as an insult. I'm merely devil's advocate, but why would I do this when I can text on my cell phone and make a group and call it OCAPA, and everybody had OCAPA and they could text on a cell phone?
nothing. This is just something that
Remember off-grid.
you what?
I said, remember the term off-grid you used.
Yes. There's one reason. What if you're in an area where you don't have any cell phone coverage? Yet, let's say,
And there are areas like that. I've been there.
let's say you're out in the deep woods and there's
Or
no cell
more
phone
after the
tower.
tornado goes through.
Choctaw Nation.
But maybe 2-3 miles away, there's a guy that has a Meshtastic node. We're talking hypotheticals here. But maybe you just want to get involved in something else that you're not on your cell phone all the time.
Well, we had some Jeepers that started the class that we had and then dropped out because they realized that after they started that the 2 meter wasn't going to work for them. So I'm wondering if Meshtastic might be a Jeeper tool or something similar.
It could be, I go to a Meshtastic meeting every month up at Wilshire Gun. And there are a lot of guys in there who have Jeeps who use Meshtastic in their Jeep. This is the one that stays. For those of you who don't know, I now have a Jeep instead of a truck. The November 3rd tornado did $27,000 worth of damage to my truck. That alone almost killed me, but this is in my Grand Cherokee, and it stays that way. And it stays plugged in all the time. There is a battery in here. I'm not even sure it's still charged. Yeah, it is. So anywhere I go, if you're on Meshtastic, you should see me, because this stays in my Jeep.
Okay, so he saw that from here. How do it know? How does it get to the internet for him to see it?
There are
It's gone now.
Going.
folks
That
On
run
one of
nodes, interface nodes.
I'm one of them, that has a node in my house that is a client, but it also connects directly to the internet. And I turn on what's called MQTT, Mike Quebec Tango Tango. That's an internet connection. So, I don't think, well, this one maybe, are you seeing, station G2 yet?
I'm not seeing anything right now. I don't know what
That's why
happened.
Mesh Map is terrible.
Everything just disappeared.